Welcome to my channel. Imagine finding a coin in your pocket, change that looks just like any other quarter, tarnished, slightly worn, with the familiar profile of George Washington staring stoically ahead. You toss it onto your kitchen counter without a second thought. But what if I told you that one of these everyday coins, minted in 1993 and bearing a tiny, often overlooked letter, P, could actually be worth over $141 today? This is not a fantasy. This is the story of a coin that, on the surface, seems ordinary, but has captured the attention of collectors, historians, and curious minds alike. This is the story of the 1993 United States quarter dollar with a Philadelphia mint mark, a coin with a rich background, subtle rarity, and an unexpected rise in value that's making people dig through their change jars all over again. The U.S. Mint continued to produce millions of coins for circulation in 1993, including quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies. But among these everyday coins, the quarter held a special place. It had not yet been redesigned into the popular 50-state quarter series that would debut in 1999. In 1993, the quarter still bore the classic design introduced all the way back in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Above Washington's head, the word "Liberty" arches across the top, while the motto, "In God We Trust," is etched to the left. Beneath the portrait, the year, 1993, is proudly displayed. But it's that tiny letter, P, to the right of Washington's ponytail, that tells us where this coin was born, the Philadelphia Mint, but back to 1993. The Philadelphia Mint produced a staggering number of these quarters, over 639 million, to be exact. So how can a coin from such a large mintage ever be worth over $141? The answer lies in condition, demand, and a dash of numismatic magic. Most of the 1993 P quarters entered circulation immediately. They clinked around in vending machines, were dropped on sidewalks, passed through countless hands, and lived lives of humble utility. Coins like that become scratched, worn down, their edges softened by time and touch. But a select few, and I do mean few, were saved, either by accident or by forward-thinking collectors, in uncirculated or mint state condition. These are coins that look almost exactly as they did the day they rolled off the minting press. In numismatics, the study and collection of coins, condition is everything. A 1993 P quarter pulled from circulation might only be worth face value. But the same coin, preserved in mint state 67 or higher, becomes a treasure. Why? Because coins in that kind of pristine condition are astonishingly rare, especially from high mintage years where quality control varied and production volumes were immense. Take, for instance, a 1993 P quarter with a perfectly centered strike, sharp details on the eagle's feathers, a flawless surface, and brilliant luster. In today's market, such a coin can sell for $141, or more, depending on demand and competition. That's 564 times its face value. Not bad for a coin that might have slipped through your fingers during a soda purchase 3 decades ago. How can you tell if your 1993 P quarter is valuable? First, check the mint mark. You'll want to see a clear P to the right of Washington's ponytail. Then, look at the overall condition. Is it scratched, worn, or dull? If so, it's likely worth only 25 cents. But if the coin appears uncirculated, with no signs of wear, full detail, and bright luster, you may have something special. For serious evaluation, consider submitting it to a professional grading service. There's a fee, yes, but if your coin comes back graded MS66, MS67, or higher, it could be worth far more than the grading cost. And don't forget to compare it to price guides and auction results. Coin values can fluctuate based on the market and recent sales. Now, if you're hoping to find one of these gems, your best bet is to search through old coin rolls, estate sales, or collections that haven't been picked over. Occasionally, uncirculated rolls from 1993 still surface, sealed tubes of 40 quarters that were tucked away and forgotten. Finding one of those can be like striking gold. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises. It teaches us to pay attention, to find value in the overlooked, and to cherish the details. The 1993 P quarter is a perfect example of this. It's a coin that doesn't shout for attention, but rewards those who take a closer look. You might be wondering, will its value continue to climb? While no one can predict the future of coin prices with absolute certainty, the trend for high-grade examples of 1990s quarters has been steadily upward. As more collectors aim to build complete sets of top-condition coins, the supply of MS-67 grade 1993 P quarters remains extremely limited. Scarcity, combined with demand, means that prices could rise even further, especially if more people enter the collecting world, spurred on by social media, YouTube videos, and renewed interest in tangible assets. So next time you're counting out change or going through an old coin jar, take a moment. Look a little closer. You might just spot that unassuming 1993 quarter with the P mint mark, the one that could be worth far more than you ever expected, because sometimes, hidden in plain sight, among the coins we carry every day, there are treasures waiting to be discovered, and in this case, that treasure could be worth $141. I begin by painting the opening scene. Imagine the dawn of a new millennium, the air alive with anticipation. In 1999, the United States circulated coins that quietly carried stories of leaders, of artistry, of the metalworkers and engravers whose hands shaped small but mighty pieces of history. Among them was a dime stamped with a single, unassuming P for Philadelphia. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't rare by numbers. Yet, somewhere in someone's pocket, drawer, collection, this humble 1999 P Roosevelt dime waited, ready to reveal something extraordinary. Let's take a breath and journey backward, far beyond that year. Picture President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a man whose voice, through radio, comforted a nation during the Great Depression and brought courage to crowds. Born into privilege, yet profoundly aware of suffering, Roosevelt carried polio's burden yet rose to greatness. In 1945, after his passing, the U.S. Mint sought a tribute. They landed on Roosevelt for the dime, not as a politician, but as a symbol of unwavering hope and leadership. The shallow, Art Deco profile on that tiny coin is more than a portrait, it's a torch passed from history into pockets and registers across America, and so in 1946, the Roosevelt dime debuted. Fast forward to 1999, more than half a century and countless millions later, mint production shifted yet remained dedicated: Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco. The P mint mark, tiny, positioned near the torch on the reverse, denoted Philadelphia. That mark is our compass here, pointing to place, process, and potential. In 1999, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 1 billion Roosevelt dimes, mountains of them. These weren't special issue proof sets, or silver commemoratives. Just everyday change, minted to buy groceries or pay for parking. So what makes one of those pieces, so common, worth $143 today? That's the magic of numismatics, my friends. Let's look at the design one more time. On the obverse stands Roosevelt, jaw set and eyes forward, draped in modest attire. His hair, sculpted by John R. Sinek in 1946, flows subtly under the words Liberty. The motto, "In God We Trust," sits solemnly to his left, the date, 1999, sits to his right. Small details, the curvature of his ear, the dimple in his chin, each line tells the engraver's hand's story. The reverse shows a flaming torch, Liberty's torch, with olive branch to the left and oak branch to the right. Sinek imagined strength, oak, and peace, olive, held together by light, torch. And the P mint mark nestles beside E pluribus unum, silent yet significant. When you hold that coin, what do you see? Are there tiny scratches, minute abrasions? If yes, it's just a dime. But imagine one pulled straight from packaging, sealed, untouched by fingers or circulation. Its surfaces glisten, fields smooth like polished glass, lettering razor sharp. That's a gem, MS68, maybe 69, perhaps even a flawless MS70. In the coin grading universe, every flaw, every hairline contact mark, its presence or absence, changes the story dramatically. Imagine bidding wars, paddles raised. A collector gasps at soybean prices, yet sees this worthless dime suddenly priceless. Bids climb. One says $100, then $120, then $143, the magic final price. That figure, $143, echoes beyond the plastic slab. It's the sum of historical reverence, artistic craft, minting diligence, collector passion, market forces, but let's not forget the deeper storytelling here. A child finds a dime in the schoolyard and tucks it in a pocket. Decades later, that coin surfaces in a collector's lot, minted at Philadelphia's original site, near Independence Hall, amid whispers of founding fathers. The coin's journey ties together everyday America and the nation's artistic economic pulse that we speak of collector appeal, but also of perspective. To a young enthusiast, $143 is astronomical for a dime. But I ask, what's the worth of holding perfection? Of witnessing a miniature masterpiece, immortalized in silver-colored copper nickel, surviving times where? That's emotional value. Then multiply by the market's will, buyer meets seller. Value becomes memory, investment, wonder. Now, it's 1999 again. The Y2K countdown begins. Tech companies race. The world buzzes. Meanwhile, mint presses turn quietly. Coins roll into bags, boxes, Fed Reserve vaults. Most enter circulation. Few survive unscathed. A teen in 2025, rifling through rolls, pulls one, with that perfect sheen, that pristine P. They look it up. They learn about Roosevelt. They hear the story. They discover coin grading. They send it off. Graded MS69, sent to auction. And that's how we land in this moment, with the big reveal, $143. A fee for beauty, history, maybe luck.so, to wrap without wrapping, picture that shiny dime. Think of Roosevelt's strength, the engraver's hand, the mint's machinery, circulation's erosion, the collector's eye, the auctioneer's hammer, and that final number, $143. More than just cents, it's cents multiplied by story. And now you know.